Dear traders, this is Tradinghub here. We are going to be showing you a simple but effective order block analysis. I looked at this analysis and I'm just going to be using the user strategy that we usually use. So we'll first mark our high and our low, as indicated here. As price broke structure to the downside, this means we should look for a sell opportunity. And obviously it broke down and went up and it sold. Yes, it did. But we see here recently that price came to that same order block round about this area. But the order block has already retested here. Therefore, this is basically our second retest. There. Which is round about here. So what I'd like to basically say is, even though an order block has been retested or a demand or supply zone has been retested before, what you need to know is that even though it's been retested, if you find a pattern, whether that be a sell or buy pattern, you're being a sell pattern at that previous POI, point of interest, you can still take that trade. I'm going to be showing you as an example now. So as you can see, price came into this previous area. And as you can see, price rallied up and formed a type of Wyckoff distribution schematic round about here. As here we have our primary supply. Around about there, we've got our buying climax there. Got an automatic rally. Secondary test around there. And this is it varies this one. You could, because as you can see, we've got liquidity forming around that area, around here. So you could call this a UT, and then you can say that's a UTAD, or you can say, simply say that was just previous liquidity, and just call this a UT. Because remember, there are some distribution schematics where you don't get the UTAD. If you can just call that a UT, and you can call that UT just a break of that liquidity. You mustn't be very strict on the words. You must just understand what it means. That's going to get you far in trading. Understanding the market. So as you can see, this is a Wyckoff distribution schematic. On the 15 minutes. So we've got for our order block, we scaled in, we saw that we have a 15-minute Wyckoff redistribution schematic. We see that if someone, for example, took this entry, which was this break here, and they entered here, they would have unfortunately lost this trade. But the beautiful thing is we got a second entry setup around about here as this low was broken. And then we can see if we took our setup around this area where that took place and we entered here, stop loss above around here, and we could have aimed for a 1:10 here. Remember, you must always target 1:3, 1:5, or 1:10. But let's say you targeted 1:3, you see the market would have hit that quite quickly. Don't say, oh, I wish I would have aimed 1:5 or 1:10. Otherwise, that's not good for you. Otherwise, you're going to be more greedy in the future. Take what you get and don't get upset. As you see, we could have gotten another thing going on here where we broke structure there of that low there. We could have entered here again. And that would have been another setup in itself. Remember, don't be too strict on the stop loss size. You can make it quite big if you want to. And there we could have targeted 1:5 or whatever. So as you can see, we lost 1 hour on the first trade. 1 hour, so minus 1 hour. On the second trade, we gained 3 hour. And the third trade, we gained 5 hour. So as you can see, regardless of you losing that 1 hour on the first trade, you have a net of 7. So you mustn't worry if you lose your first setup. You mustn't get fixated on this, because imagine if you got all upset and left after that. That is why you must use risk management. You can't lose your whole account after one simple trade setup. Because imagine if you lost the whole account here, but then you got these 2 beautiful trades here. You must always use risk management. Use a certain percentage of your account on each trade that you take. Therefore, as you can see, this is a very simple trade setup. We found our 4-hour order block. But the thing is, it was previously retested. But even though the order block has been retested, there shouldn't be an indication that you can't enter that order block. As long as you see a pattern, for example, a sell pattern in this case, because we were at a bearish order block. If you see a pattern, you can take that setup. But here, as an example, I've enlightened you guys and shown you guys that we actually had a Wyckoff distribution schematic at that order block area. And we're able to capitalize on that. After the UTAD, after the UT there, we got a few setups, very clear tucks to the downside. First one didn't work out, but the other 2 gave us pretty good RR. As you can see, you could have also capitalized here again. As you can see, we've had a trend line break here. Possibly we could be selling at around here again to take the market further to the downside. But at the end of the day, you can never really know what the market can do. The market can do anything. Therefore, thank you very much, traders, for your time. Hopefully, you guys really enjoyed this video. TradingHub really appreciates your support. Thank you very much.